Welcome, world, to yet another episode of Manage Your Damn Money with Ben and Malcolm, the place where we trade in personal finance advice for entertaining conversations about money. It's another week, Malcolm, another time to talk about our favorite topic. What's popping with you this week, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. So here's something random that happened to me.
Okay, go ahead.
I went to my very first ever hockey game yesterday.
Oh, is that right?
And it wasn't half bad, I got to be honest.
Did you wear a jacket?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't get it. I didn't put on the hockey gear and really get into it, paint my face and my belly and all that stuff like some people.
Okay.
But like as far as the action was concerned, it was actually pretty entertaining, I must say.
I'm going to share something with you. Believe it or not, at 9 years old, I played in a roller hockey league.
That doesn't surprise me for California.
The one thing that I remember about playing in the roller hockey league was that it was super expensive to do it because it's buying all the gear and the sticks and the blades and everything.
Folks take it way too seriously.
I sucked. I was horrible. This was after watching the Mighty Ducks and all that and getting hype off of that. But anyway, so did you enjoy it? Would you go back?
I wouldn't make a habit of it. If it were like a once a year kind of occurrence, I could, do that. A client invited me.
Oh, nice.
And, so it was one of those things where I was like, all right, cool.
Excellent.
I've never been. I'll check it out. But as far as random experiences go, it was actually better than I expected going in. So.
That's good. I only went to my first hockey game a couple years. Well, first hockey game probably since I was a kid, so I can put it like that. Of course, in life news, Malcolm, you were texting to me about this. As of today's date, which is December 5th, the Senate passed a tax bill, which has not been signed into law yet, but currently the House side of Congress and also the Senate side are reconciling bills to determine what the new tax rates will be for the entirety of the American populace. Right. What are some notable items that you noticed off break, Malcolm, from the bill's passage? I guess it was the end of last week at this point.
Yeah, so I made note of 3 specific ones that I thought would be very interesting to know to our audience. So for one, it presumably eliminates the deduction of interest paid on federal student loans. Okay. So that could be the cap was $2,500. That's $2,500 deduction gone, right? Overnight. That if you've got $100,000 in student loan debt, it's realistic that you could get there, assuming they're all federal loans. And then also it repeals.
Something caught my throat. Go ahead.
You see, I went on. But so it repeals the individual mandate that requires folks to have health insurance.
Right.
So under Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, everybody who didn't have health insurance at any interval within a year had to pay a penalty.
Right.
This removes the penalty for not having insurance. So you would say young folks coming out of college, especially going to their first jobs, they might not have signed up for health care. And in 2018 going forward, you won't be penalized for that, but that is going to do a heck of a lot to skyrocket the premiums paid by other folks who are less healthy that are currently on the plan.
Absolutely.
So effectively, they just basically wiped out health care for a lot of the population. 22 million people or something is currently using Obamacare. So, good luck with that. And then also the last one I noticed is that it eliminates the exclusion for grad students who get quote-unquote free tuition in exchange for working as a TA or a researcher.
Oh, wow.
Where that now would count as taxable income.
Okay.
So if you have a job, a full-time job, which some grad students do, or even a part-time job that pays anything significant, well, now that tuition, let's say you go to a school like Harvard, for example, maybe Stanford, somewhere like that, where you're paying $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year for tuition. Right. Well, your grad school tuition that was comped under your TA agreement is now going to be counted as part of your taxable income. So, those 3 things I think are huge for our populace who's younger in
absolutely
demographic.
You know what I imagine when you read off things like that in terms of this being included in this bill, and if it were to become law, it being included into how things are going financially for people. I imagine very, very, very rich people burning the ends of a ladder up, but the burning is going down, pouring gasoline on a ladder and the gasoline running down towards the people who are trying to climb the ladder.
Essentially, yes. Yeah.
So that's essentially what it is, and that's just our first.
And those things are I won't say hidden,
right?
But they're not top line items that you keep hearing people banging their fists, yelling about. So these are probably not going to be things that are rectified through
Reconciliation
reconciliation.
Yeah.
These are things that are probably here to stay.
Absolutely. And that's, of course, if the bills get signed by whoever is acting as president at that particular time. But anyway, here on Manage Your Damn Money, took a little extra time to talk about the tax bill that's kind of moving through Congress. But as we do on every episode, it is time for headlines. Headlines, Malcolm, this week, one that we've actually been holding on to for a bit. Big data meets Big Brother as China moves to rate its citizens. This was from a Wired.com UK article by Rachel Botsman from October 2017, which revealed China is moving forward with the launching of a quote-unquote social credit system that will be mandatory by 2020 for all of the country's 1.3 billion residents. On June 14, 2014, the State Council of China published an ominous-sounding document called the quote-unquote planning outline for the construction of a social credit system. The article says, imagine a world where many of your daily activities were constantly monitored and evaluated: what you buy, shops, and online, where you are at any given time, who your friends are and how you interact with them, how many hours you spend watching content or playing video games, and what bills and taxes you pay or don't pay on time. It's hard to picture because most of that already happens on some level, thanks to all of the data collecting behemoths like Google, Facebook, and Instagram, or health tracking apps like Fitbit. But now imagine a system where all these behaviors are rated as either positive or negative and distilled into a single number according to rules set by a government, in this case, Chinese government. Your rating would be publicly ranked against that of the entire population and used to determine your eligibility for a mortgage or a job, where your children can go to school, or even your chances of getting a date. Malcolm, when I read this story, I shuddered and shook in my boots because the thought of we always end up sounding like really old guys who are just mad and scared of everything. But in this case, like what I just described sounds like a digital age caste system of sorts, wherein you get locked into some kind of thing based or rating based on your general behaviors, and that there's no way, outside of altering your behavior to kind of get out of where your current rating is. That's what I initially saw.
Here's what's interesting. You and I hadn't really talked about this aside from when you sent me the story. My initial reaction was nope. But simply, you and I arrived in the same place.
Right.
And to take a very quick diversion, I'm learning that you and I are not alone in our grumpy old madness.
There are others.
Based on the comments that I get through Twitter on a regular basis, the folks that I interact with constantly see things a lot of times the way you and I do. So we're not alone in that. But anyway, so I got to the same place that you got in that this basically guarantees that the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor.
Absolutely.
So the two things that I thought about immediately were job interviews and college applications. Those are the two ways, presumably, that you have to kind of pull yourself up from where you currently are. Right. I hate to use this ultra-American phrase, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Right. I don't even know what bootstraps are, but anyway. So that is your way to attain the American dream, quote unquote. You go to college, you work really hard, you get to come out of college and be on a totally different footing than you would have been if you hadn't gone to college. Right. Or you go get a job working somewhere in a place that's different from where you come from. Maybe your parents didn't necessarily work in the arena that you did, but you used that arena to get yourself more financially successful or whatever. That probably wouldn't be possible in a system where you're immediately rated based on what the generation before you that gave birth to you did. Right. This kind of guarantees that you stay pretty close to where you start. Right. Which then, in a totally different degree, disincentivizes you to work hard.
Absolutely.
So that that's dangerous.
Here's the interesting thing. And I don't know that this article addressed this, as to your point or what the point that was raised in my mind. I have young nephews. If it's tracking your behaviors into childhood, back into your childhood, at least when you have like start having a digital footprint. My nephews, if you let them, will play iPad games all day. And games in this instance, or at least in the story, were something that would be rated negatively. So in this case, like
you're unproductive.
If you're 10 and you're playing a lot of video games, you're getting negative points attached to your quote unquote, social credit score. at an early age for doing nothing else than doing what kids do, which is play.
But you're being compared to the 10-year-old that's learning trigonometry.
Absolutely.
And by comparison, you're a slacker.
And of course, this obviously has to do with some cultural things because this is in China. So there's some different things there just culturally. But in the context of American culture specifically, this is incredibly scary. I had a friend, Josh, and my other friend, Drew. We have a group text, guys who I went to Syracuse with. And Josh said he watched this episode of this show on Netflix. I think it's called Black Mirror. And the episode of the show that I think Jacob watches basically was an episode of people walking around getting a score that was based on some kind of thing like this. And then your score would be above your head the entire time. I still haven't gone and watched it.
I've never watched it either.
He basically explained it to me. And so when he said that, and it was like, oh, that's a scary abstract idea. And then like months later, I read this story, and it's like, oh no, this is the real thing that's happening in another country with 1.3 billion
See, the
people.
scariest part of the whole thing to me is that China's government is who's in charge of the equation that determines what your score is.
Absolutely.
I'm not that comfortable leaving my fate on something like this in the hands of the people who are known currency manipulators and like violators internationally of foreign exchange rules and stuff like that. No knock on anybody who works for Chinese government, I guess. But, for a long time, China has had an issue where people on the international stage from an investment perspective haven't taken them seriously because of their propensity to manipulate their currency. Right. So, I don't want them playing around with my citizen score or whatever it's called either, because it clearly obviously can be juiced in whatever direction they deem appropriate.
Absolutely. So, and the other part of that is they don't actually tell you what the score is composed of. So these are all.
How do I get better as a citizen if I don't even know what the scoring mechanism is?
We barely know what the credit score is made of in
right.
a way. So it's kind of the same. So anyway, scary stuff. But we want to remind people you are listening and watching Manage Your Damn Money with Ben and Malcolm. Today's conversation at hand: shopping through the holidays and extreme couponing with Edward Daniels, the coupon king of DC. We have a very nice fellow here who came to visit us and bless us with his information. He's been extreme couponing for more than 6 years. So we're going to talk to him a little bit later in the show about how you can use coupons to save some money through the holidays. And when we come back from this music break, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can save money and keep your money straight through the holidays. We're going to take another quick music break and hear from our in-house producer, Mr. Beats by Beeman. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk about some holiday shopping stuff and saving your money, and also speak to Edward Daniels. This is Manage Your Damn Money with Ben and Malcolm. We will be right back. Welcome back to Manage Your Damn Money with Ben and Malcolm. Before we move on, we want to remind folks you can listen to us on many podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and also Google Play. Simply search Manage Your Damn Money with Ben and Malcolm. If you have a question or want to submit a song to play during a music break, send it to us at info@manageyourdamnmoney.com. And you can also make sure you're subscribed to our email list. Just go to our website, manageyourdamnmoney.com, in the top right-hand corner, and subscribe your email. And that's important because we have some really big news coming up through the holidays and into the new year. And the only place you're going to be able to get that is on that email list, or if you follow us on our social media. Malcolm?
At Malcolm on Money.
And of course, at mine, at MYDM with a 1 at the end. And that's news you want to see. It's exciting stuff. So shopping through the holidays and extreme couponing with Edward Daniels, the coupon king of DC. At Manage Your Damn Money, we need the gift giving and holiday season is near, and this brings added pressure to the budgets we have to keep. This is why we decided to review the keys to maintaining your sanity and your money while shopping through the holiday. And we've also got, as I said, Mr. Edward Daniels, the coupon king of DC, to share the gospel of extreme couponing and how it can help you stretch your money through the holiday season. So, Malcolm, really quickly, before we bring Edward on, maintaining your budget through the holiday season, these are some top ways to be smart and avoid going broke through the holidays. I think the number one thing that I thought of when I was thinking about this list was you have to prioritize your loved ones. And that sounds real like grimy.
That sounds very crass.
And I was being crass on purpose. But all things and all people cannot be equal. Immediate family, children, and grandparents are important. But be sure to create some kind of order and rule for who you plan to purchase gifts for and at what price and what price range. And I feel like that's okay. Now, some people be like, you should never say that. What do you think about it, Malcolm?
I agree, I guess. Fortunately, like my family, we don't really have that pressure around the holidays.
Okay.
Like with Christmas presents and that sort of thing. Like we just kind of,
just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Some
like
families though, it's like, what you getting?
I know.
Aunt Sally.
Some families, like literally for 20 relatives, you've got a list of people you've got to get something for. But it kind of just has become like an unspoken thing. Don't get me anything, and I won't get you anything, and then we don't have to worry about the pressure of like,
outperforming one another.
We just hang out as a family, have a good time. I enjoy your company, and that's my gift. Like I'm good with that.
That's
like
funny.
That, so.
And that's funny. Well, and then when you have like an all-adult family, I think that's easier to do.
True, because my niece always ends up getting like
everything.
3 or 4 things. So.
That's funny. So for families though, for those with like kids and other people you have to buy gifts for, make sure you prioritize and also like set some kind of ground rules for what you're spending on each set of people, however important they are. And then also set a realistic gift season budget. So I think this is a really important one, Malcolm. Set the top of what you're okay with spending before you start shopping. Keep a list of all the gift purchases and prices to keep a solid tally of what you spent. So obviously, like, this is the same thing as like going in to buy a car. I only want to spend $10,000, right? And so when you go, you know that if the guy's offering you a car for $15,000, you're way over budget, what you said. And if you go over, then, you're making a mistake.
Here's something that's amazing, though. You're talking about buying a car.
Yeah.
I've encountered people who will spend $10,000 on their Christmas list.
Oh, my.
Each year.
Oh, my.
That is just like,
I've
encountered those people. Like, and I don't even mean people who are, multimillionaires who $10,000 is like, not the end of the world. I'm talking about people that 10 grand is significant, and I've encountered it more than twice.
Okay, excellent.
So anyway,
another one which might be a bit of a challenge for our listeners: don't buy on credit, or as they used to say back in the day, layaway. One of the greatest temptations is to spend on credit and pay for it later. If you've been planning, budgeting, and listening to Manage Your Damn Money all year, you have some hard cash available to spend on gifts. If you use a credit card, challenge yourself to pay the charges off immediately so the pain doesn't linger into March and April. That's another one.
So credit unions are notorious for offering what they call holiday loans.
Okay, we've talked about this
where
before.
have we?
So I think
that tells you just how adamant I am about this being a terrible idea.
Go ahead.
But so credit unions all across America, they offer these holiday loans where basically up to like $5,000 or something they'll lend you. And they structure the loan over the course of 11 or 12 months.
Okay.
So you get to pay it. So you take out the loan December 1st. You get to pay it off all the way through the end of November.
Right.
And that's just in time for you to come to them and open up a new holiday loan.
Right.
So they keep you perpetually paying for last year's
Christmas
presents.
Right.
At, a 12% interest rate or whatever the personal interest rate, going rate is these days.
Right.
And that's a way for them to make interest income that they wouldn't normally be able to get because, normally the bread and butter is car loans and home loans. So that's one that is just like a trap. Like it's a credit trap.
Don't do it.
But it's a sweet spot for credit unions because so many people come to them to finance their Christmas list.
That's incredible. We need not, if you listen to Manage Your Damn Money, have you financing your Christmas gifts because it's just unnecessary. Also, remember to make this is like a tax related one for as long as this is applicable. I don't know how long it's going to be applicable. Remember to make your final charitable donations. Charitable donations, like I said, at least for now, reduce your tax burden. Remember, all cash and goods made as donations qualify for inclusion in your April taxes for deductions. Now is the time to consider the last gifts you plan to make to write off on your taxes. And I know, Malcolm, in the past, I've donated money on like December 30th, December 31st, just to meet the deadline so that I could kind of reduce whatever I earned for that year. So that's something that you really have to do. What are some other ways that you can think of real quick, Malcolm, before we go to music break, that you can do to like show people you care without spending money or like a whole lot of money on a gift?
Well, you can make gifts. For one,
okay.
Like, I have a couple of friends who are artists, and they, give away some of your artwork that normally you would charge people for.
Right.
And also like do things for people.
Right.
So sometimes just like offering to do something for somebody that they have a hard time doing themselves, or they are really appreciative of having somebody else come along and do it.
Right.
That's enough.
Right.
Like, so a lot of times, like the financial pressures that we put on ourselves are like imposed more so than they are external, because it's always like this feeling that you have to show up and show somebody
and show out.
You show up and show out at the register,
right?
But you have to show your love through like tangible goods, where a lot of times, like frankly, like your time is what's more valuable than
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take another quick music break. Hear another piece by Beats by Beeman. If you have a question or want us to cover a particular topic, remember to send us your question to info@managerdamnmoney.com. Make sure you're following us on social media, because we have some big announcements coming down the pike later this month in December at MYDM1. What's yours?
At Malcolm on Money.
No problem. This is Manager Dan Money with Ben and Malcolm. When we come back, we're going to talk to Mr. Edward Daniels, the coupon king of DC. This is Manager Dan Money with Ben and Malcolm. We will be right back.
Listen. Now listen.
Welcome back to Manage Your Damn Money with Ben and Malcolm, and we are joined here, have the awesome pleasure of welcoming Mr. Edward Daniels to the show. He is also known as the coupon king of DC. As we said through the holidays, every dollar counts. Edward Daniels has been featured on Fox Business and has been named the coupon king of Columbia Heights by Bloomberg Finance. He's an actor, an entrepreneur, DJ, and he saved thousands of dollars just in a few months when you started as an extreme couponer. So first, Edward, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here. Happy holidays, guys.
Indeed, happy holidays.
Yes,
So let's just start at the beginning. You're an actor. You've been in DC for a long time. How did you come upon the idea and notion of extreme couponing?
Yeah, so I've been in DC for 13 years. As an entrepreneur, when it comes to cash flow, you can have those ups and downs. And I think 2012, I was just back home Thanksgiving, going over finances and budgeting. And there was one of those reality shows on extreme couponing on TV. Okay. And I'm watching these people walk out of the grocery store with, hundreds of dollars worth of groceries, and then they ring it up at the cash register, and it's like, you paid $5. And I'm like, wait, is that possible? Is that, just made for TV? How does that work? But I just basically followed the show, and I was just intrigued. I watched season 1, the entire season, just sitting there in my mom's living room, and thought, when I get back to DC, I'm going to try this and see if it actually works. And I got back to DC and tried it, and it worked, and it was just like,
from then on,
magic, yeah.
So where's home for you, first of all?
South of Richmond, Virginia, so a little farm town called Emporia.
Okay, very good. And I guess the first time you did Do you remember your first time actually like taking coupons to the store and like what it felt like?
I do, because I hadn't clipped coupons since watching my mom clip coupons, as a kid. So I remember I was going to a pharmacy to grab like body wash, and I had 10 coupons for grabbing like 4 units of body wash, and I walk in the store, give them all these coupons, and I thought that they were going to look at me a little funny handing them 10 coupons, but it was funny because they just took it, rang them up, and then my price went from 14 something to $1.
Oh wow!
It's like, wait, okay, that works. So then I just started plotting out and reading all the blogs on couponing and trying to figure out okay, wait, how do I do this and actually make it more of a lifestyle? And that was 6 years ago, and it was insane how much you save immediately as well. I mean, I saved $6,000 within just a few months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing that I kind of get from folks when you watch those shows, the extreme couponing shows, is that it's a lifestyle. It's not something like you can dip your toe into and just decide like I'm going to pay attention now. And I haven't gotten there.
It's a lot of work. A lot of my friends, it's funny too, because I started posting what I was buying and how much I was saving. So I was posting like all of my purchases online on Facebook. And friends were asking, why are you posting this? And how are you making these deals happen? How are you paying, $4 for a $90 purchase or whatever? And finally I created an album just for that. And it became a lifestyle. My goal was to save money and just to make that happen. And it's like, sticking to a diet. You have to, stick with it and figure out how to do it and make it work for you.
So let me ask you this. Explain to me just technically what extreme couponing is, or like what a coupon does when you do it at the level. Because I'm used to like, okay, you buy 2 and we'll give you 10 cents off. But the kind of couponing you do is like, I saw a recent post on your Facebook page, which you said you spent $4.82 on groceries that retail total for $65. So that's a huge like $60 difference in terms of what you're spending versus what it actually costs. Yeah. So explain like how is this even allowed? Because that doesn't even make sense.
And that's what I thought at first. I thought, okay, using a coupon. First of all, using a coupon on a sale item. I thought you can't, if it's already on sale, how can you use a coupon to further reduce the price? But you can. There's one grocery store that does a week of super double coupons where they double the coupons basically. So if you work it out well, you can actually go into the store with your list prepared and really make a deal where you're saving at least 50 to 100% off of your purchase. So extreme couponing for me is when you strategically plan to save 50 to 100% off of your purchase.
So, and what's the incentive for companies to put out coupons like this?
So, retail stats, apparently there's millions of dollars worth of coupons that are sent out each year, that are distributed each year. That the percentage it's about 3% that actually redeem them. Wow. So they're trying to get you to use new products, to discover new products, to get you to actually, take a liking to whatever product they are, pitching to you. So yeah, that's what they do. It's already out there. It's a matter of clipping it and just using it. But so many people don't do that.
Okay.
So you said extreme couponing for you is the work and preparation that goes into getting ready for a day at the store. Extreme couponing to me is the folks that I see that walk out with cash in their hand and like a basket full of goods, 2 baskets full of goods, and a refund from the register.
Oh yeah,
Have you had that happen?
I've had that happen. The funny thing, I always tell my friends, the funny stories are when you go to the store and people, the cashiers that are like, wait, did you just plan that? Or when they ring up something, you haven't handed them any money, you've given them paper coupons, and they look at you and they're like, wait, how do I owe you $2 back? And you just bought, a cart of groceries.
And they have to call a manager and like make sure.
The manager comes over. I've only had a few managers that'll come over and they're confused. Most managers also understand like, oh yeah, that's our policy. They can do that, But very few people walk into a store and walk out without spending money and are getting cash back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is the part when I watch those shows that blows my mind.
And
it works. I consider myself to be pretty fiscally responsible, right?
Yeah.
But I've never walked into a store, walked out with a basket of goods and a refund.
Yeah.
Like that is like killing it.
And it works. The fun part is the cashier's reactions, and then the people in line. Of course, the people in line behind you, like looking at your screen, like, wait, what did you just do? Yeah. So that's always the fun part.
He has a basket full, and his register says 0. What's happening? That's crazy. So you're like a young, millennial-ish type person living in the city. Do you have like any family or kids that you?
No. It's funny you say millennial-ish. I think I'm on the upper cusp, or just aged out of that bracket.
You're very comfortable. You're among friends, brother. So like, being that you have like a kind of single-ish lifestyle, how does it work for? It makes, I guess, sense for a mom with 4 kids to walk out with a basket full of groceries, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for you, who you're feeding one person on a day-to-day basis, how does that, fit and make sense to go in there and buy maybe like 4 boxes of cereal or like 3, things of body wash?
Yeah.
Like, explain to me how that works
For
for you.
me, and it's funny, I think that's why my story was also very intriguing to the media that picked up the story and kind of blew it up years ago, is because I was a young guy living in a major metropolitan area, that being DC, that's really expensive. I'm not a Midwestern, soccer mom shopping for kids.
Right, which makes
for
sense.
me, yeah. So for me, it works because I stock up a year's worth. So for me, I make sure that I have at least a year's worth of items.
Wow.
Meaning toiletries, toothpaste, toothbrushes, any household things, seasonings, like certain things that I just know I can stock up and have in the house. I have a 1-bedroom apartment, so I don't have the space of a garage to store, shelves and shelves of items.
Right.
And I also donate the excess. So I'll donate the excess to food shelters, food banks, things like that. So yeah, it works out well. And I also take care of my family. There was, you were mentioning holiday shopping earlier on the show. And there was one Christmas where I went home. I gave my mom and sisters and my dad an entire table full of shampoo, body washes, feminine care products, things they need.
Santa legitimately came.
Yeah, so speaking of getting
creativity,
buying creative
man.
gifts, gift giving, give them something that they need and
And
they're
it was
going to
all
use.
free.
All free. It's like, hey, here's all this stuff that you're
That's
going to
funny.
use. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Mom.
do you have, you've been doing this for a while now, and social media kind of brings people together in ways, otherwise you'd be siloed. Do you have like your own community now of couponers who you like compete with, or that keep each other on track and that kind of thing?
Oh, it's competitive. So I'm one, and what I do isn't even near the extreme of what other couponers do online. When it comes to, I've seen people online that have, a retail ad from 2 weeks for 2 weeks from now. Like, how did you even get a copy of the ad?
Right.
And they've made a spreadsheet of every item that's going to be on sale and how to get the deals. And
What do these people do for a living?
I know. Well, honestly, a lot of them make money off of their blogs, off of their couponing. They teach seminars, things like that.
Wow.
My schedule, I don't quite have the time to do as in depth of blogs that some of these people do.
Right.
But it's fun. I've done seminars and I've taught people, how to coupon in one-on-one sessions.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great way to save money. Great way to save money.
Excellent. Now you're also, we kind of skimmed over it earlier, but you're also an actor and you work in the theater and acting community here in Washington, D.C. Talk to me a little bit about that, what you do and how you do it. And then I'll have another question just in terms of how you make it all work.
Yeah, so I came to D.C., graduated from UVA in 2002, came to D.C. to work in the theater scene. We have a very large theater scene here in D.C. So I came here for theater, a lot of film work, and I couldn't do the 9 to 5 and the nightly theater schedule, so I created my own business, Scorpio Entertainment, which is a DJ company. I had radio experience back in high school, so I created that company and suddenly have these dual careers going.
Right.
But I transitioned to more film work, so a lot more film work lately. And I can't quite say, I just got cast last night. Can't give too many details, but I just got cast yesterday in Homeland on Showtime.
Oh,
good for
so
we got a star on the show.
I can't give more details than that
That's
right
plenty,
now,
though.
but we shoot a couple of weeks or a week after next.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't give more details, but I'll
But
be
I
on
can't-
Scandal.
I know. I can't give more
Scandal.
details than that because of the nature of the show and all that. But
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I came to DC as an artist and as an entrepreneur artist. As a freelancer,
Right.
you have to find the grind and find a way to make ends meet and constantly take care of yourself. So
Absolutely. About that,
Yeah.
in addition to couponing, what were some of the ways you've been an entrepreneur for so long that you connected those dots financially for yourself? What are some keys that you could give people for?
yeah, it hasn't been easy. I work my butt off for one, and I think as an artist, I always tell other artists that you take this road less traveled. It's an unorthodox career path. You can't complain once you choose to do that. You have to just figure out how to make it work for yourself. So for me, it's just been a matter of, I started working as a waiter in a restaurant like most artists. And then for me, I just said, okay, wait, what do I need to do to create the lifestyle that I want? So I created my company, had that up and running for 12 years. And, that's been the bread and butter that allows me to continue with acting
Right.
and not feel so pinched, I guess,
Right.
for
Absolutely.
money.
Well, that's Excellent. So we're going to take a quick music break here. Another track by our in-house producer and co-creator of this show, Mr. Beats by Beeman. You can listen to his music on Instagram. Simply search Beats by Beeman, Beemen. I always like.
I don't know why you always.
Because it's like I'm like, how many E's are there? Search Beats by Beeman. Spell it like it sounds. But when we come back, we're going to talk some more to Edward Daniels about couponing. We're going to get into the details of how it works and where we can find coupons that work. This is Manager Dan Money with Ben and Malcolm. We will be right back. Welcome back to Manage Your Damn Money. We are here joined on the show by Mr. Edward Daniels. He is an actor, artist. What's the name of your company?
Scorpio Entertainment.
Scorpio Entertainment. And has also been deemed the coupon king of DC. And it's interesting because I actually heard you, the way I became aware of who you were was on a radio interview you did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that was funny because I've seen extreme couponing shows. And then later at some other moment in life, I was texting Malcolm and I was like, wait a minute, I should try to figure out who that guy was and have him on the show. And here we are 2.5 weeks later.
Yeah.
I think the most amazing part of like the story of how you got started though was that you were watching TV and said, I could do that. And then legitimately was like,
yeah,
I'll do that.
It's watching this show. I mean, just watching the show, seeing these women leave the grocery store with three carts of groceries, and then they get to the register and it's $10. I'm like,
Right.
wait, is that real? Or can I actually do that? And then having done similar trips myself, it is real.
So I don't need to own a minivan to be.
Oh
an
no.
extreme.
I mean, I do have an SUV.
Okay.
You might pack your car full, but you don't need a minivan.
So how many hours? Like if I wanted to start couponing today, right?
Yeah.
I went home and I said, all right, I'm going to get serious about this.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours a week could I expect to legitimately have to spend scouring for the deals and preparing for my trips and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, for me, when I first started, because I was not exactly sure, I had my binder and all these coupons, and I'm trying to clip and organize. It was upwards of 25 hours a week, which was a lot.
That's
but
a
now,
part-time job.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But now, I mean, it's second nature, so I understand exactly what I'm doing. I'm not clipping. I'm not organizing the way that I used to.
Right.
So it's a different system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that learning curve brings down the amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like talk a little bit about, we talked about on the other side earlier that, you're an actor, you're an entrepreneur. Talk about how couponing has helped in your broader financial planning and long term in terms of what you're able to save and put away for the future.
Yeah. So my finances, especially as an entrepreneur, I think other entrepreneurs can relate to just cash flow being up and down. I mean, when I look at what I make on paper at the end of the year, it doesn't come through that way throughout the year, month by month.
Right.
So for me, it was a matter of just adjusting like my monthly budget. And I said, okay, what can I cut out? I want to buy a place at some point in DC.
Right.
DC is an expensive place to live. So I wanted to figure out how to kind of trim the budget.
Right.
And what I was spending on groceries and household products was the first thing I could cut.
Wow.
And couponing just helped. I mean, I was even challenging myself to spend as little money on food as possible per week, for instance, per month. And it was like, okay, can I get this down to $300 or less, or $200 or less? And the ultimate goal is to get it down to $100 or less on groceries.
And what would you say now that you're like a professional couponer? What's your like monthly expenses on grocery type products?
Right now, $200 or less
A month?
Yeah, a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's impressive.
Is what I get it down to.
Okay.
Only shopping sales, only using coupons, trying to be as disciplined with coupons as possible, and making sure I stick to that, and just not spending extra money on other things, so it's not affecting the budget.
Okay. So going to basics. If I am listening to Edward Daniels right now on this podcast and show Manager Damn Money, where do I go to find coupons? Because it feels like coupons are these things that float in the atmosphere, but you don't know exactly where you get them from.
Always the number one question. And first of all, when it comes to couponing, you have to have the library of coupons.
Okay.
For me, the Sunday paper. Most any city, your Sunday paper, you're going to find coupons. I subscribe to the Sunday only paper, which is 45 cents a week.
Okay.
You know.
Why do they put them just in the Sunday paper? Is there a reason for that?
Yeah. I don't know.
like Edward.
Why, yeah.
For people like Edward.
People like me, it's
That-
like, you know when to
just
find
want
them.
the
Only on
coupons.
Sunday, yeah. I
Right.
mean, you can get them in the Saturday papers, but it's usually the weekend paper
Okay.
that you're gonna find them. But yeah, you get the coupons there. You make sure that you have the coupons. Like you have to have the coupons. You can also get them from coupons.com
Right.
website. You can just go and search.
Okay.
There's also a coupon database where you can search for any coupon that's available online in a magazine. On a Facebook page, you can search for any coupon that's available.
Okay.
And like print it out.
And print it out. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Okay.
So you don't even necessarily need the Sunday paper,
Nope.
so to speak.
Nope.
Okay, interesting. And then is there a difference between like normal coupons and then like Super Saiyan coupons? Like, is there like a difference? between
Oh
those two
no!
things?
I mean, well, there are some coupons that I'll consider. Well,
Go-
you know,
go-
a high
go-
value coupon,
Okay, okay.
meaning there are certain pharmacies where you can get a coupon that's $5,
Okay.
and they're retail groups that want your business, so they will accept that coupon they'll accept anyone's coupon, so you'll get an overage. So basically, if I take a $5 coupon to a certain store and an item's on sale for $1, you're getting a $4 credit per item, and if you walk in with 100 coupons, that's a $400 credit.
Oh,
and there are certain
what?
retailers that
Really?
accept unlimited amounts of coupons.
Oh my
So a
gosh.
few years ago, one of the deals that I posted on my page that all my friends were going crazy over was a flat screen TV
Oh,
from
wow.
a certain big box retailer
Right.
that if you had 100 coupons from the pharmacy, take them to this store and get a free TV.
Wow.
As simple as that. And the manager, you walk in, of course, they give you a look, but they say, oh wait, based on our coupon policy, we'll honor that.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they're also getting money back. They're redeeming those and getting money back from the manufacturer.
Right, whoever's selling
Yeah.
the
Dude,
TV.
I
Yeah.
thought I was doing something getting a Costco card like 2 months ago. Like,
Yeah.
apparently I've done nothing.
Well, also in the cards, making sure you have the retail cards as well. So the grocery store, frequent shopper cards, making sure you have those. You're going to save at least 20% just by having that card as well.
Is there a best store that does the best sets of coupons, or is it really just a manufacturer thing?
Yes, stores, Harris Teeter.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that's where they do super double. So for a week, you are gonna, easily get $600 worth of groceries
Okay.
for no more than $100.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then who are the best like coupon putter outers?
I would say, Procter and Gamble,
Okay.
the Procter and Gamble paper, you're gonna get some really high value coupons, some really
Right.
good coupons that you can use on oral care, hair care, baby products. A lot of people ask
so they
about
have their
baby
own
products.
paper?
They have their own paper, or
Like their own section?
section. Yeah,
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. And then real quick, if people want like the quick rundown of the best tips and tricks of the trade, like what would you suggest to people to get started on couponing?
Sure. So I run my Facebook page, the Coupon King of DC, which you can find on Facebook.
Absolutely.
People can contact me on Twitter at Edward Daniels. But yeah, I do seminars as well. So I also do one-on-one coaching and then seminars, like group classes for those that want to get into couponing. My next round is going to be in January to start off the new year.
Oh, excellent, excellent. That's great information. And then one more time, give us your Facebook page.
Coupon King of DC.
Okay.
Facebook.com, Coupon King of DC.
Awesome. And then, I was gonna ask what you were doing next, acting, but you told us you're gonna be on a big show.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. All I can say for now is Homeland. Can't give anything away with the season, but they're shooting.
I can't share the script.
I know. I can't share the script. They're shooting in Virginia. I'm looking forward to that. So
Okay.
I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Excellent. Well, we're going to take another music break, and Malcolm and I are going to come back and wrap the show. Again, Edward, thank you so much for coming on the show and blessing us with this hilarious edition of What It Takes to Save Money. Using
Really
coupons.
solid info, though.
Of course.
News you can
Absolutely.
use.
Thanks, guys.
Indeed,
Appreciate
indeed.
it.
This is Manager Dan Money with Ben and Malcolm. We will be right back. Welcome back to Manage Your Damn Money with Ben and Malcolm. That was hilarious, great information that we got from Edward. I never knew couponing and extreme couponing could be as entertaining and informative as Edward just made it.
I have plans now. Like seriously, he motivated me that I could be saving more money on. Like, I get excited when I go to the store and like use just the store card and buy stuff that's already on sale, and so I get like, on a $20 bill, I get $5 off.
Okay.
But now I feel like I haven't done enough. So.
You know how bad I am? On CVS, you get the little CVS bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can't even hold on to that long enough to actually spend it on something.
Who has time to read through that receipt?
But not those, the one where they actually give you dollars to spend.
Oh, no, that's free money. I use that.
I try to, but sometimes I lose
I go
it.
back in the store and use that.
Well, I'm gonna buy something. That's very good. Well, big thanks to Edward Daniels for coming on the show. We have some really big announcements coming here on Manage Your Damn Money, so we want to make sure you're following us on social media so you get the information you need about upcoming things coming for the show. Just make sure you're following Malcolm at Malcolm on Money, myself at MYDM1, or you can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Manage Your Damn Money. Of course, you can always listen to past episodes of MYDM on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, and of course, Apple Podcast. And we ask that you give us a review, a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. That helps our show go up in the ratings. Malcolm, another great show.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for more. Until next time, be good with your money.
Peace.
Peace.